What's up, guys? My name's Captain Dave and welcome back to the Captain's Quarters, the video in which I go through and answer all of your questions and comments from last time's video. And to kick things off this week, we have Blast Eyes Studio, who says, I hope you get this question, but do you plan on playing more fantasy games like Dragon Age or The Witcher? And have you heard of the game Lucius, or have you heard of the game Lucius games? Would you play them, as they are loosely based on the Omen horror series? I haven't heard of Lucius, and I'm not really a huge fan of like horror style games too much, so probably not. I've heard a lot of The Witcher. I've heard that is a fantastic game. Apparently, anyone who's played it has always spoke very highly of it. But out of all of them, I'm more likely to be interested in or playing Dragon Age. I've been interested in playing Dragon Age ever since I finished Mass Effect, really. I've been very interested in playing Dragon Age. It's just, it's one of those things that I know it's a big game, and I know it's a trilogy of big games, so I kind of want to make sure I've got quite a decent amount of time, like a good couple of weeks, where I can just sit down and give it my all and play it properly. So, with regards to me doing like a walkthrough of it, something possibly in the future, it depends if I like the game or not, but I do definitely at some point in my life plan on playing Dragon Age. Yusuf Yasir said, the same thing happened to me, Dave. I was one mission away from unlocking Spider-Punk, but I went to sleep and the next day I had a message saying the event had ended. Oh yeah, that was in regards to last week when I was doing the last Captain's Quarters. My Spider-Man, was it Unlimited? I always forget the name. Is it Unlimited Spider-Man Unlimited or Unlimited Spider-Man? It's sort of like a maze running game I've got on my phone. And the mission, when I was trying to unlock someone, it had ended while I was doing the Captain's Quarters. But yeah, I know. Ever since then, I've been really proactive playing that game, like trying to make sure I complete the event like a day before it ends. Just, I say I've wasted too much time on that game. For a game that is pretty much just lava, rinse, repeat, I've spent a hell of a long time on that game. Many hours put into it. Azordan, I hope I said that right, said new avatar cap. Yes, I do! For anyone who may or may not have noticed yet, I finally, after 5 years of being on YouTube, created a new little logo, a new little icon for my avatar, for my thumbnail, for my channel. So, it only took 5 years, but I eventually got around to doing it. It was hard. I'm not going to lie, it was very, very hard to say goodbye to Baby Juggernaut. But, it had to be done. Yeah. It had to be done at some point. I needed a more sleek, professional look to it. And as much as I love Baby Jugs, he just wasn't doing it. Well, Baby Jugs, that sounds really horrible. I shouldn't say that sentence out loud again. But Alexander said, hey Dave, what are your thoughts on Spider-Man being in Captain America Civil War 2016, as well as another reboot for the Spider-Man franchise? Also, the new villains trailer for Arkham Knight is called Gotham Is Mine. With regards to Spider-Man being in Captain America and the Spider-Man reboot, I have gone into great detail talking about them in not only last Captain's Quarters, but the Captain's Quarters before that. So, if you wanna know my thoughts on Spider-Man joining the MCU, the reboot, and being in Captain America Civil War, go back and watch my last two Captain's Quarters, because I don't want to bore the people who have listened to them already by going through it again. Literally the last two Captain's Quarters should have just been called Spider-Man Joins the MCU, because I spoke about it a lot. So yeah, if you want to know about that, go back and check out my last two Captain's Quarters. And I've been watching, after me saying that I don't really watch like trailers for games and that such unless I'm really into them, I have actually seen a few trailers for Arkham Knight. There's one where it's like a 3-part trailer where it was like the assault on the chemical factory or something like that. I don't think I've seen Gotham Is Mine yet, but I watched the assault on the chemical factory. It looks good. I can't wait. I'm actually starting to get a little bit excited for that game now. I mean, I'd love to get a next-gen console first, but I'm actually starting to get slightly excited about that game, so should be good. Speaking of Gotham Is Mine, by the way, Gotham has just came back in England, and that show's got better. That show's getting a little bit better. Like I said, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did, where I wasn't very happy with it at first, and then it just has got awesome. Which also, that's back as well this week. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's a good time to be in England right now. Gotham's back, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is coming back. It's a good time, but yeah, Gotham, it looks like it's starting to pick up a little bit, which is good, because I think it needed it. It was a bit, I don't know, a bit meh in my eyes, but it looks like Gotham's getting a little bit better now, so. Ian Raphael said, how do you feel about Marvel not showing Comic-Con? Yeah, that's weird. That's a little bit odd, that is. I'm not sure why they've done that, especially since at least that I've heard, I don't know how much this is true, but I've heard that Marvel have never missed a Comic-Con since the release of like the first Iron Man movie. Like since then, they've never missed a Comic-Con. So the rumor goes. I'm not sure if that's true because I've never been to an American Comic-Con, but yeah. So them not being at Comic-Con this year of all years is particularly weird. Spider-Man has just joined the MCU. I think by the time Comic-Con is around, I think Age of Ultron would have already been out, and it will be just before Ant-Man comes out. I think. I'm not exactly certain about that, but I think that's when it is. So you'd think this would be a huge time for Marvel. Other than the fact all the films they have coming out, the fact that Spider-Man is now joining, you think people are going to have so many questions. The Netflix series that have just started, and you'd think that this would be an optimal year for Marvel to be at Comic-Con. So the fact they're not there is weird. Unless they're going to just... I don't know. I don't know if they're going to get like book in at last minute, but I think someone said that they read a tweet. I can't remember who it was. It was Kevin Feige or someone like that. I'm not exactly sure who it was. And they said no. They, as of this moment, they don't have any plans to be at Comic-Con. So whether that will change later on, who knows? But as I say, I don't know. I'm always out the loop in these things. It's always you guys who normally inform me. Ethan Brown said, so Dave, how awesome would it be if there was an animated series based on Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions? Of course, they would show what happened to the rest of the Marvel Universe, Noir Avengers, 2099 X-Men maybe. Yeah, and maybe Noir's Daredevil origin could be him helping Spider-Man fight Goblin or something like that. Yeah, that'd actually be kind of cool. I think I'd like that. And of course, that gives another great excuse to have Josh Keaton voice Ultimate Spider-Man and CD Barnes come back and voice Noir Spider-Man. I mean, hell, they can do that any way around they like, but Josh Keaton's got a young voice and Ultimate Spider-Man's young, so that works. And Noir's kind of sinister, and I think CD Barnes, when he puts it on, has quite a sinister voice when he wants. So, yeah, just gives a great excuse to bring those guys back again. But no, I'd watch that. As long as it was as long as they actually focused on the story and made it good, and they don't just, I don't know, just make it too child friendly and kiddie. I know it's an animated series, like I assume you mean by animated series like a cartoon, but as long as they don't make it too, hey ho, we're fighting crime, yay! So, if you see what I mean, as long as they actually make it a cool story, it can be a cartoon and for kids and also be cool. I think people, or at least for any program I've watched, like when I've watched kids watching it, it seems like the media at large think that children are dumb and they really need to ham it up for them. It's like when we were younger, we had the 90s X-Men, the 90s Spider-Man, and they were some really in-depth great stories, and I loved it as a child. So I think they really need to start upping the animated series these days. Although apparently I've heard that Ultimate Spider-Man, the animated series, has got better, but I'm not really interested in giving that a chance. And also, right at the very end, what? Restart Fallout? How dare you? Oh, wait, actually, I don't mind. Fallout New Vegas. Yeah, well, as I say, there's no promises, but that is probably what I would do if I went back to Fallout. Greem97 said, Dave, if you could create your own race in Mass Effect, what would it be? Well, when the next Mass Effect 4 comes out, I have heard there's going to be new races, so we might be able to see what some of BioWare's thoughts are, but I don't know. The thing is with me, and this is something I've been finding out recently, is I'm not good at creating things from scratch. A fact I've been learning the hard way at university recently, but I'm really good at, I won't say really good, tooting my own horn a little bit, but I'm quite good at, if someone gives me a bunch of things, I can then create that into something. Say like, for example, with YouTube, and like playing the video games and making them into episodes and editing it to make it look cool and blah 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 blah. I like doing stuff like that. If someone gives me a concept or an idea, I can then create that into something big. I'm great at doing that. Coming up with an idea from scratch, I am useless. Like even when it comes to drawing, I'm not really great at drawing, but I can copy stuff adequately. Draw that same thing from memory, I am useless. Absolutely useless, and it's something I've been learning the hard way recently. So when it comes to create my own race in Mass Effect, the only thing I could probably come up with would be a combination of the races that already exist. Apparently when it comes to creating things, my imagination isn't too great. I only I just play on what, like, even when like I'm like walking along or I'm bored and I like slip into my own little fantasy world. Even then, it's stuff that's happening. Like, man, just for argument's sake, I'm bored and I'm imagining I have superpowers. I was like, man, I'm painting a really sad picture of myself here. But yeah, even then, I'm in a real world setting that I know. I'm not making up some fantasy land. I'm not in like some alien planet. I'm where I live. So it's like even then I'm creating stuff from stuff that already exists. So it's not at all what you asked me. But yeah, creating my own race from scratch, I have no idea. I'd probably mix two things together. Kind of like the Reapers did with the Turian. No, was it Turian and the Krogan? That was how they made like the Brutes. The Reapers in Mass Effect 3. I swear that's how they made the Brutes. It was like a mixture of the Turian and the Krogan put together. I believe it was, but yeah, I'd probably just do something like that and mix two together. So for the purposes of this, let's say I would mix together I actually saw a bit of fan art the other day of a Hanar and Drell mixed together, which is kind of a realistic combination as well when you think they share a planet. So yeah, something like that. Why not? Oh, imagine a Krogan with a Hanar, or a Krogan with an Elcor. It would be unstoppable. But moving on. Stephen Grant said, I haven't watched the past few Captain's Quarters, but a few episodes ago I talked about Batman Beyond having a live action movie script, and you said you didn't remember who he was. Oh, I think we've got story time here. Terry McGinnis said Batman Beyond is a teenager who takes over Batman when Bruce becomes too old to do his job. It was a big animated series in the late 90s to the early 2000s, and it had its own animated movie, Return of the Joker. He has his own comics now, but the cartoon is better in my opinion. Alright, I think I vaguely remember that actually. I swear I never watched it religiously, but I swear I caught a few episodes of like an animated Batman series. But anyway, new question. If they made a Moon Knight Netflix series, like their Daredevil, Luke Cage, etc. series, but with the style of the fan-made movie trailer, I'll post a link in the comments, would you watch it? Thanks for reading, cheers man. I would watch the hell out of that. And by the way, I've already watched your Moon Knight Netflix series. I always scroll through this before I read through them all, just in case somebody has posted me any links. Yeah, I watched that fan-made trailer, and it did actually look well done. Obviously, being a fan-made trailer, it needs a little bit of polishing up, but I would watch a Netflix Moon Knight series. I'd love that. I actually don't know much about Moon Knight, other than when he's appeared in other people's series or in like big crossover events. Other than that, I know nothing about Moon Knight. But from what I hear, from what I see, he seems like more of and when I was going to say lower superheroes, and when I say that, I don't mean they're worse than other people. I mean they deal with the more street level crimes. Like you got the big guys who deal with like, oh, it's Apocalypse, and oh, it's Ultron, and oh, there's a vortex that's trying to suck up the blah 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 blah. You got all them, and then you got the others who deal with mob bosses and like gangs, and I like them ones. Like early, like Spider-Man before he joined the Avengers, and you know, you're like your Daredevils, your Luke Cages, your people like that. The people who deal with just the day-to-day crime and the problems like that. They're the people I love. I've always loved. That's why I think I loved Spider-Man so much, was because he wasn't out there stopping an apocalypse. He was out there trying to stop Norman Osborn, or he was out there trying to stop the Kingpin, or that's what I liked. And he would try and juggle real life with it, and I love that. And I think, from what I hear, Moon Knight's similar in that respect. I mean, as I said, I don't know too much about him. I think he's a bit more of a, I'd say renegade in the fact that I think he's actually more violent. Like, he kills people, I believe. I don't know. I'm just speculating at this point. But yeah, I don't know much about Moon Knight. So if they made a Netflix series about it, I'd watch the hell out of that. Especially if they released it in conjunction with Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, people like that. It'd be really great. Yeah, I'll definitely watch it. By the way, where's the Shattered Dimensions walkthrough? It's still on my channel. It's actually on my homepage. If you go to my homepage, I've got all my playthroughs laid out in their categories. Like I've got all the Mass Effect walkthroughs together. I've got all the Spider-Man walkthroughs together. Just scroll down my front page. It's right there, sitting there, just doing its thing. Wheelwind 2 said, do you think you could play Ultimate Alliance 1 again, but this time use a different team for each mission, kind of like you did with your second Ultimate Alliance 2 walkthrough? I would highly enjoy that. Yeah, possibly. I thoroughly enjoyed that game. And then, as I say, that's one of the reasons why I redid my Ultimate Alliance 2 walkthrough, was because the first one was so old, and I've learned so much more since then about the game and about comics and superheroes in general. I felt I didn't do it justice. Oh yeah, I'd love to. I could see myself doing that, actually, an Ultimate Alliance 1, doing the walkthrough again. And as I say, that's the one thing I regret, is I look back on it and I used the same team for pretty much the whole game. So, yeah, I'm not promising anything, but yeah, I could definitely see myself doing that. The thought has crossed my mind in the past, so possibly. Jaden Game said, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, question mark? Keep up the vids. Oh, if only there was an Ultimate Alliance 3, if only. I don't think it was last Captain's Quarters, I think it was the one before that. I posted a link to a website which had a rumour of what the next Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 game could be if one was to come out. And I was really angry. I can't remember who posted that, but I was really angry because the game looks so awesome. It's based on Secret Invasion, Dark Reign, and I think Siege, but I think it was the Secret Invasion and Dark Reign. And the game looked fantastic, and I think it's just a rumour, and I really want it to be true, but I don't think it is. So, yeah, if you go back, I think it's like, not the episode before this, the one before that, I had a link to a rumour of Marvel Alliance 3, but other than that, I have heard nothing. Will Win 2 said, have you heard about the LEGO Avengers game? Do you think it will be only the Avengers or more like LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2? Yes, I have heard about it. I think if they're actually calling it LEGO Avengers, I feel like the main quest, like the main storyline, will just be the Avengers, but then you'll probably get all the other characters, like in LEGO Marvel Superheroes, when you're free roaming. So other than that, so I suppose in that respect, it will be kind of like Marvel Superheroes 2, in the fact that I really doubt they will take out all the characters they had from LEGO Marvel Superheroes. I mean, last year, I went Comic-Con and I sat on one of the panels for... Well, I wasn't actually part of the panel. I sat in the audience when they had the panel for the LEGO Marvel Superheroes, and he said that he just couldn't... The guy who made it, he said he just couldn't help himself. He kept adding just more and more characters in. Like, originally there wasn't supposed to be that many characters in the game. He just couldn't help himself. He just felt this character had to be in there. Oh, this character has to be in there. Like, he finally has a chance to put all these characters in there, and he took the ball and he ran with it. So, I think if they make a LEGO Avengers, I think it would be silly of them to remove all these characters that are already basically in the game. I just think when it comes to the main story, whereas as in LEGO Marvel Superheroes, you had... Well, I was going to say you have Wolverine and Spider-Man, but technically they are in the Avengers. But I get the feeling that LEGO Avengers is going to be as in, like, the movie Avengers. So, Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow and Hawkeye. Maybe Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, depending on when, depending on how up to date the game is. But no, so I think the main story will just be like the main, probably the MCU Avengers, and then if you free roam afterwards, you might get other heroes that you can play as. But it's kind of like a mishmash, really. AJ Singh said, are you going to play Dying Light? When are you going to play Walking Dead Season 2 video game? What do you think of Alien Colonial Marines video game? What do you think of the Lion King trilogy? Alright, so let's go through them one at a time. Am I going to play Dying Light? Is that the zombie game? I think that's... It's coming out soon, isn't it? But I've only seen little bits like on adverts that play before YouTube videos, but I'm not really too interested in it. I never really am interested in new games coming out, to be honest with you. It's not because I'm a hipster or anything like that. It's just, I don't know, if a game takes my fancy, it takes my fancy, but when everyone talks about these new great games that are coming out, there's nothing really about them that particularly interests me. I like games that I like, so unlikely, but who knows, I might watch somebody play it and think, holy hell, that game looks awesome. So, but initial instincts, probably not. When am I going to be playing the Walking Dead Season 2 video game? Now, funny you say that. I have just finished playing the DLC, 400 Days, and also have just finished all 5 episodes of The Walking Dead Season 2. And can I say, that game is awesome. There are few games I have finished and just sat there and felt like there was a hole in my life now. And Walking Dead Season 2 was one of them. At first, I'm not going to give anything away because I'm going to do a walkthrough of it. But when I first started playing it, I was sitting there thinking, come on, they need to pick this up a bit. I was really worried it wasn't going to be that great. And then, obviously, they picked it up. And man, did they pick it up. I can't wait to start recording. I really can't. It's it's brutal. It's so brutal. Bearing in mind, like, if you haven't watched my original Walking Dead Season 1, go do it. Get yourself prepared, because I'm going to be doing 400 days and Walking Dead Season 2, hopefully very, very soon. And it's going to be going at the same time as Skyrim. But, oh man, you pick up and you're playing as Clementine, from obviously carrying on from Season 1. And it's like, what happens in the game is brutal anyway, but the fact you're like an 11, 12-year-old girl doing these things is just, oh man, it's insane. I can't wait. The game is fantastic. I just can't wait. So yes, when am I going to be playing it? Very, very soon. As soon as I have time to record it and edit it and get it uploaded. It'll probably be I'll probably be doing it in the same sort of system that I'm doing Skyrim, whereas Skyrim's every Monday and Friday. I'd probably do The Walking Dead, say, like every Tuesday and Saturday, or something like that. Something along those lines, so. But yeah, no, very soon, as soon as I get time to record it. That game, I loved it, it's so great. It's few games that I finish as well and instantly want to go back and play again. And Season 2 of Walking Dead was one of them, but I'm not going to, because in that way when I do the walkthrough I can make different decisions, and you'll actually get to see my genuine reaction of what happens as well, so. Can't wait. What do I think of Alien Colonial Marines video game? I've never heard of it, to be honest with you. And what do I think of the Lion King trilogy? I don't know about the trilogy, but the first Lion King, soft spot in my heart for that film. Spoilers, the bit where Mufasa dies still gets me. I'm not somebody who openly shows my emotion, like crying and stuff like that. I don't do that. It's not really what I do. But when Mufasa dies, I can't help it. It hits me. It hits me deep and it cuts me. When Mufasa dies, that's just brutal. It really. Yeah, that film though, Lion King 1. The first Lion King, that film was great. I remember seeing that at the cinema. That film is just fantastic. It's one of those films that holds up over time. Some films come out and they're awesome, and then you watch them a few years later, or 10 years later, and you're like, it's not as great anymore. Lion King holds up. If you haven't seen Lion King, by the way, do it. It's one of those films that there's always films that people say you have to see, like, you have to see you have to see Scarface, and you have to see Goodfellas, and you have to see that. But some of them I've seen them, I'm a bit meh about. Lion King is one of these films. You have to see it. It's just such a good film. The soundtrack alone. It's amazing. Lion King 2. That was alright. The only good thing about that is when the hippo sings. When they're kicking baby Scar out. Deception! Disgrace! He asked for trouble the moment he came. That's the best bit of the whole film. But and then Lion King 1.5, I'm not sure what that is. Unless you're talking about that Timon and Pumbaa story. But yeah, I'm not so sure about the sequels, but Lion King 1, fantastic. That's just like one of those films that stands up forever. Yusuf Yassir replied to AJ Singh and said, "My parents told me, my sisters told me that me and my sisters watched the hell out of that movie so much they threw it away and tried to convince us the DVD player wasn't working." Yeah, I think when we had Lion King, it was on VHS, and I think it got to the point where we had all those speckly dots all over the screen because it had been watched too much. Anywhoodly, Donald Dimmick said, "Have you ever tried playing the Marvel or DC card games, or do you collect cards or things?" I haven't played DC Marvel like card games. Didn't really know there was one. The only card games I've ever played or collected was Pokemon. Still have my Pokemon cards actually. I'm not giving up those bad boys. Shiny Charizard for the win. The Darkman One Fest said, "I know you're not super into fighting games, but I'm curious to hear your opinion on Mortal Kombat X." No idea. Didn't even know Mortal Kombat got up to X, or I'm assuming that I'm sure that refers to 10, but didn't even know Mortal Kombat had gone up that high. So I have zero opinions on Mortal Kombat. I'm Patriot 59 said, didn't get to ask you this last time, but do you watch The Walking Dead or read the comics, or have you just played the game? So yeah, as you just heard, obviously I've just finished playing the game and I can't wait to record the walkthrough of it. I do watch The Walking Dead TV series. I think it's fantastic. It's actually, as of recording this, it's on tonight. So the last episode was a big one. for anyone who doesn't watch it, close your ears for about 10 seconds. For those of you who do, all I'm gonna say is, everybody eats Chris. Just leave it at that. But yeah, no, I love the Walking Dead TV series. And with regards to the comics, I've read... how far have I read? I've read some. A friend was lending them to me, but I think it wasn't... I didn't get up to issue 4. It was like the hardback, like the novels, the books. I got up to like issue 4 of them. So I think it was just whereabouts they had found the governor. I think that's round about where I'd got up to. But no, I'd love to pick up reading the Walking Dead comics again. They were actually really, really good. Really gritty as well. Oh, very gritty. But no, I'd love to pick up reading the Walking Dead comics again. They're fantastic. And I'd highly recommend any of you guys to go read them as well. A lot of people moan and say, because the Walking Dead comics are in black and white, a lot of people moan and say, oh, I can't read that. Why can't they just add colour, blah, blah, blah. Trust me, it's worth it. After the story is so good, you very, very quickly forget it's black and white, and your mind just kind of fills in the blanks. It actually kind of helps to add to the sort of the gritty end of the world nature, because of the fact there's no colour, it's not all bright and shiny, it's just black and white. It kind of actually helps to add to the gritty nature a little bit, I think. But yeah, if you like Walking Dead, both the game and the TV series, I highly recommend picking up the comics. Definitely worth a read. I'm Patrick59 also said, your Walking Dead game walkthrough is actually what introduced me to the show and the comics. Oh, really? By the way, are you going to play Web of Shadows? Just kidding, I don't want to aggravate you. Oh, don't worry, I am 100% certain a lot of you have written that in the comments just to try and get a rise out of me. Which I will rise to. But yeah, oh no, I'm glad that my Walking Dead walkthrough introduced you to it. See, that's the sort of thing that I like hearing. I like knowing that, like, if, like, say, like, you're a fan of Mass Effect and you watch my Mass Effect walkthrough and you're like, yeah, that's good, that's awesome. I'm glad it was good. But if you knew nothing about Mass Effect, watched my walkthrough, and then became like an avid fan of the game, that's what I love. I love that, because it's like that's how I got introduced to stuff, and that's like one. Other than the fact that I love playing the games, that's one of the reasons why I like doing these walkthroughs. Because I'm just like, if I can introduce you guys to something that you end up falling in love with, that's awesome. That's great. That's what I'd love to do. And as I said, like, if you watch the very first episode, like the intro of my Mass Effect 1 walkthrough, I go on a massive tangent saying about how much I love this game. So yeah, that's great with The Walking Dead as well, because The Walking Dead, the Telltale Walking Dead games are brilliant. So yeah, I'm glad I was able to do that for you, mate. The Darkman One Fest said, I think we all like to see a video game series. A video series where you talk about comic books. You can call it Comic Book Talk. Yeah, I think I mentioned that last week, saying about doing a series on comic books, or maybe talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm definitely thinking about it. I'm definitely looking into that. I think I mentioned it a few episodes ago, but in the meantime, if you guys are looking for some really good in-depth knowledge about comic books, there is a channel that is doing insanely well right now called Comics Explained. Go over there and watch those videos, because not only does he have a great in-depth knowledge about comic books, but his voice is so soothing. It's like, you come for the comics, you stay for like the midnight radio style voice. It's just it's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, no, it's definitely good. Go check that out. But yeah, that's something I plan on doing as well. As I say, I'm sort of on the fence about it, because I want to do it, but then at the same time, it's like, I know I'll make a video and then realise I made a mistake or I left something out, and so I'm thinking about it. But yeah, in the meantime, if you guys want to go watch something like that, go watch Rob at Comics Explained. Fantastic channel, fantastic. Jonathan K said, hey Dave, thanks for replying to my comment. Do some videos that focus on comics and Marvel Cinematic Universe is a good idea. Oh yes, there we go. Perfect. Now, a few questions. Number 1, what do you think about Batman and Spider-Man crossover comics? 2, in fact. Would you like it to be further developed as comic or animated shorts? I've never read it, so I suppose I can't really comment. I don't like the idea of crossovers like DC and Marvel, or just other stuff like TV series do it as well, and sometimes cartoons do it. I'm not normally a huge fan of crossovers, unless it's a crossover in regards to, say, like a Daredevil series and a Luke Cage series on Netflix, and they cross over. Something like that I think is awesome. That's cool. But when it's like Batman meets Spider-Man, or I don't know. Apparently there was one that was actually quite good. I think it might have been the Batman Spider-Man one. I'm not sure. I think there's one where it's like Superman becomes like a Herald of Galactus, or something like that. But I've heard some of them are quite good. But I initially don't really like the idea of like crossovers into different universes, like in the sense of like DC and Marvel. I don't know. I've heard they're good, but I initially am not a huge fan of them. Number 2, what's your thoughts on Spider-Man comic? Amazing Spider-Man travels to the Ultimate Universe, meets Ultimate Spidey, Miles Morales, and found out Ultimate Peter Parker is dead. Would you like it to be made into a game? Why not? How? Etc. etc. I have read the Spider-Man comic. I actually have it. I bought it. I can't remember if I just bought it in general or if I actually bought it at Comic-Con. I can't remember. But I think I just bought it on Amazon or something. But yeah, I read the Spider-Man comic. I enjoyed it. I thought it was alright. I thought it could have been better, though. I can't remember the exact story inside my head. I can't exactly remember what happens because it was quite a while I read it. Quite a while ago I read it. But I remember liking it. I thought Miles Morales meets Peter Parker. That's gonna be a great story, like any day of the week. But I remember thinking it could have been. I don't know. There could have been more to it. I think actually, like, Amazing Spider-Man actually ends up meeting Aunt May of the Ultimate Universe, and like whoever else. I think it was either Mary Jane or Gwen. I can't remember if who it was, but I remember obviously them being extremely happy because they got to meet him again, like as an adult, and see who he'd turn into as an adult. So I remember something like that happening. But yeah, I think it was alright. Maybe I have to go back and reread it. But I remember thinking it was good, but it could have been a bit better. But if you were to say, as you say, if you were to make that into a game, yeah, I think that'd be fantastic. It could almost be done in a sense like Edge of Time, where you had Amazing Spider-Man and 2099 crossing over. It could be kind of something like that. They could do one maybe, as I say, I haven't read Spider-Verse, but they could do it in like that sort of sense, like maybe the Ultimate Universe and the Amazing Universe kind of collide, or maybe they have to team up for some reason. Like maybe there's an enemy that's in both of their universes, and they both have to team up. Or no, I'd love it. I'll definitely love it. Anything Spider-Man related is good, and especially if you're going to bring the Ultimate Universe Spider-Man into it, that's just fantastic, because Ultimate Spidey was just brilliant. P.S. A joke for Mass Effect. What do you get when Rex or Grunt is launched from a cannon? The answer? A Krogan warhead. Well, there we go. Don't we just love some Mass Effect style humour? Anyway, moving on. Jonathan K also said, also you mentioned you would redo some short walkthroughs during the summer if you have time. Please do either Batman, Cold Heart DLC, or Edge of Time. See, there you go. When you say about doing other like sort of retelling of my walkthroughs, Ultimate Alliance 1 is one I do, and Edge of Time is another, because that game, not only did I do that before I did Edge of Shattered Dimensions, which is ludicrous because Shattered Dimensions came before Edge of Time, but Edge of Time was a game I enjoyed. I thoroughly enjoyed that game, and I think that could do with a bit more of a recent Captain Dave touch to it. But yeah, Batman Cold Heart DLC. Maybe I should get on with that. I said I'd do it at some point, and I kind of just forgot about it. And after watching a bit of this Arkham Knight gameplay, it has got a bit of the Batman death from above, the Batnut teabagging action flowing within me again. So maybe. CCH. Cold Heart is straightforward, no side quest except scanning Anarchy. So it would be 4-6 videos max, and I would like to see the Flaming Thousand Fists of Fury. Oh yeah, Flaming Thousand Fists of Fury, eh? Maybe you're piquing my interest. As for Edge of Time, I'm not going to say much about the grabs and charge attacks, but please do more web shots more often. They are made for Spider-Man to shut gunners up. So sorry, but when I see you just fish mashing gunners under fire, you really make me want to cry. Yeah, well, as I say, like back then it was one of my more earlier walkthroughs as well. So the whole playing and commentating at the same time was still relatively new to me. It was still within my first year, or at least my first year of doing walkthroughs. So yeah, as I say, it's another reason why I might want to give it the old heave ho. But Charles Taylor Coe said, "Hey Cap, there's a rumour that Spider-Man might be cast as an actual teenager. I think it's a cool idea because the movies will be able to grow as an actor like they did in the Harry Potter movies. What do you think?" Yeah, this is another one of those one of these things I mentioned quite in depth in the last two Captain's Quarters. I think he is almost certainly going to cast Spider-Man as a teenager. They say they want him, I think it was somewhere between 14 and 16 they said they wanted him to be. So they're looking for a younger actor so he can be in school. And yeah, so he can actually grow up as Spider-Man. So you actually see the actor age, but when he goes from school to the real world, he doesn't look exactly the same as he did in the previous film. You're actually going to see him age. I think that's a great idea. I know a lot of Spider-Man's lifespan, like more so of it, has been outside of school as opposed to inside of school. But Spider-Man started when he was in school. And even though they're rebooting it, but they're not actually doing another origin story again, which is, thank God they're not doing another origin story again. But I think they need to at least have him in school when he first meets the Avengers and stuff like that, because I don't know, I like it. I think that it'd also be a great way of explaining where he's been the whole time. Because if he is still in school and he's still a teenager, it'll make sense why during like the first Avengers film he might have been out there helping, but he wasn't up there with the Avengers because he was still new, you know, and he's still young, so he wasn't that great yet. So I don't know. I like it. I think it's a good idea. And as you said, just like the Harry Potter movies, you can actually see the actors grow with the character. So the odds are they're probably gonna cast someone who's either late teens or early 20s for the role, and then you'll see the actor. You'll still see him grow get older in a certain extent, but I really doubt they'll actually cast someone who is in like their teenage years, because then there's too much room for error in the fact they could grow up and decide they don't want to be an actor, or grow up and as they grow up they really don't fit the role anymore. So I'm getting the feeling they'll probably cast someone who's in their early 20s. But Thomas Jackson said, "Captain of Fire, I am your loyal minion because Captain Dave has still not read Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm getting to it. As I said, I'm reading New Avengers at the moment. I've just got up to Avengers vs X-Men with regards to New Avengers. As I said, I've read the AVX before, but I'm seeing the New Avengers side of it. So I'm getting there. I'll read it when I'm done reading New Avengers, but I've got over like 10, 12 years of New Avengers to read. I'm coming near the end of it now, so. Anyway, my life has been, as Spider-Man said in episode 32 of the 90s cartoon, rolling. I am getting a job so I can pay for military school for my junior year, so no time to watch anything besides Captain's Quarters. Thank you very much. Good thing, I guess, about Captain's Quarters not actually having a video playing is you can sort of just load the YouTube video, put it in your pocket, and off you go. But, oh well, there's just so much to say that. And I got a date with my crush, so that he's also got a scholarship at a boot camp this summer, and so close to ranking up in civilian air patrol. Life is just awesome. Yeah, it sounds awesome. It sounds like you're living the dream. And I literally found $60, and now I'm just bragging. Yeah, you're going on a bit of a brag here. You're going on a bit of a rant. By the way, I have played Batman Arkham Asylum 12 times and City 24 times and Origins 2 times. Man, how do you find time to get anything done? I played them twice and I was done. Man, that's some dedication. As a right-hand man of Captain Fire, I'll bring Aaron Cash to life and hardwire his brain to flow everywhere. Oh dear, I feel like I'm getting ganged up on here. Thomas Jackson said, "P.S. When are you playing Web of Shadows or Infamous or Injustice or Assassin's Creed or finished Fallout? Hail Captain of Fire, hail Hydra." Man, yeah, I am getting ganged up on here. I feel I'm getting bullied. Is there an adult around? Is there somebody who I can call? I feel I'm getting ganged up on here. PPS? Man, you have got a lot of questions. PPS. What if Miles got his own symbiote? It could be a toxin, but he keeps it for a while. Man, yeah, possibly. PPPS. Man alive. I have been watching you since 2012, subscriber since Batman Arkham City. Oh, well, thank you very much. Oh, that's the end. That's the end of the questions. Man, Thomas Jackson, you had a lot to say today. My lord. But no, I'm glad things are going well for you at least. Candyman. Oh, I need a drink after that. My throat is parched. Anyway. Candyman Chucker said, Spider Dave, it's good to hear from you again. Keep up the videos. Hope you and your family and friends are doing well. Thank you very much. Hope your family and friends are doing just as well. Mine are actually doing fantastic. Enjoy your spring weather. My question is, if you were to design a spider suit, how would you design it, and what is your favourite part of Skyrim series so far? So how would I design my own spider suit? Well, first and foremost, the thought of me in Lycra is not a good thought. I'm not grotesque and I'm not overweight or anything. It's just I doubt I don't have the slim physique to pull off a spider suit. I'm let's just put it that way. I'm not a big man, but I think the word is hench. I think it's the best way to describe it. But so me in a spider suit doesn't exactly sound too great. But if I was to design one, I don't know. See, that's the problem. This goes back to the same sort of question that they were saying earlier. When they said if I could design my own Mass Effect character. I'm not good at designing stuff from scratch. It'd probably just be a mishmash of the other costumes. Oh, actually, I tell you what, I really like Miles Morales' Spider-Man suit. I'm a huge fan of just the all black with the red. I like that. I think that's kind of cool. It'd probably be something like that. Probably mixed in with a bit of Enter the Earth as well. I like that sort of the armor that he wears on top of it. I thought that was kind of cool. So yeah, so probably be like the color scheme and design of Miles Morales with like the shielding and the armor that Enter the Earth Spider-Man had. That I think that would yeah, I'd say that. And what's your favourite part of the Skyrim series so far? Do you mean out of the series that I've been recording, or out of the whole game? Because if it's out of what I've been recording, there is an episode coming up. Let me have a look, see when it comes out. Bear with me, 1 minute. It comes out. Oh, I haven't even uploaded it yet. But it will come out the 3rd of April. There's an episode that comes out the 3rd of April. There's something that happens in that episode that has me in stitches. It was so funny. For anyone who follows me on Facebook, a couple of weeks ago, or a week or so ago, I mentioned it about having the funniest recording session of Skyrim. Well, in April, on April 3rd, this episode will come out. It will go live. Oh man, I was in hysterics. It was so funny. So, April 3rd, episode 16. Watch that one. It's quite near the start. There is a moment that just cracks me up. That is what is so far my favourite series in the my favourite part of the Skyrim series. So there you go. That answer to that question. You've got a bit of a wait for that one. But yeah, part 16, April 3rd. That's when you'll find out the answer to that question. You'll know when it is because I don't stop laughing. Oh, you got that to look forward to. Mission Unstoppable 1 said, your cat's relationship with you is like Ben's relationship to Johnny. You love him and you want to kill him at the same time. Ben? Oh, do you mean Fantastic Four? But yeah, actually, yeah, that's actually really accurate. I'm assuming I'm the Thing in this situation and the cat's Johnny. Yeah, that's actually very accurate. The fact that I want to crush him underneath my rocky fist, yes, that's actually very, very accurate. I would say it's a love-hate relationship. I love the cat and the cat hates me, but I think it's just a hate-hate relationship. We just use each other for food and comfort. But anyway, oh man. Mission Unstoppable 1 said, spoiler, this comment is very long. Yes, it very much is. Let me take a quick drink before I read this one. Righty-ho, righty-ho. The main reason for you being my best YouTuber is that I don't really care what sort of game you play or what kind of videos you post. Like, you know, when you watch someone's videos and you just keep watching them because you like them. I'm not a huge fan of comics, mainly because they're not popular at all where I live. If I had a chance to buy and read them, I would definitely do it, but it's really disappointing for me because I love superheroes very much. I know about the Marvel digital website, but I feel I'm way too behind on all the comics to start reading them. There is no Netflix at all in my country, so the only places where I can sort of know what's going on are the movies, games, internet. So I wouldn't mind at all if you post them. I think it would also help me with some of my negligible superhero knowledge. When I found your channel, you were at the start of your Mass Effect 1 walkthrough. I went back and watched all of your videos continuously in my summer. I was so looking forward to the next one that I even forgot to like them. Sorry for the long comment, but I don't really have anyone to talk to about these kinds of things, as superheroes in games are not much popular at all in some places of India, and none of my friends are interested in them. To give you an example, I think Captain America Winter Soldier movie only lasted about a week and a half where I live. Sometimes I feel out of place because I am not a religious person at all, but I live in a very, very religious country. Whenever I am having a bad day, a good dose of your videos keep me happy for the rest of the day. Oh, thank you very much. There was a lot of nice things you said in there, so thank you very much for them. I'm actually going to go through, because as you say, that was quite a long comment, so I'm going to go through and sort of like point by point reply to a few things that I thought of when I read them. Well, yeah, when you said about you watch someone's videos and then you just keep watching it for them, that is actually what I've done a few times in my past before I started, well, actually after I started, but yeah, like when I was first starting my channel, that's what I've done quite a few times. You go for a game, you get to know the person, and then you stay there for the person. So if that's what's happening, that's great. That's the sort of thing I was kind of hoping for, that you'd come for like the superhero games and then stay just for the walkthrough goodness as well. So I know that feeling and I like that feeling, so I'm glad that's the same thing you're getting as well. Where you say that yeah, you're a huge comic book fan, but it's not really popular where you live, and that you don't really have anyone to talk to about it because they're not really interested in it. I get that. I mean, obviously I can understand it's probably a lot not worse, but I mean, like, it's a lot more where you live, as you say, in India being a very, very religious country, and Captain America only lasted about a week and a half, whereas in England it was, I think, out for a good month or so, a good couple of months. So, yeah, I get that. I mean, obviously I'm guessing it's a lot worse for you where you are, but even though, as I say, I've got this channel and I do this, there is nobody in my real life who enjoys superheroes and, like, maybe games, but superheroes, stuff like that. Reads comics. There's nobody I know in real life who reads comics at all. Nobody loves this stuff like I do in real life. Well, actually, no. There's a few people I know who like superheroes and comics and stuff as much as I do, but no, none of them who live anywhere near me. Nobody who I see on a regular basis. So, or no, some people I don't even see at all. No, we're just like over online or stuff. So that's why. So when you're saying like you like the channel and stuff like that for the reasons that you get to see and talk about superheroes and stuff, it's the same. That's the same way that I feel back to you guys, because in real life, other than boring my girlfriend to death, I have nobody to talk to about this sort of stuff. So that's why I love doing these Captain's Quarters. That's why I love answering your questions and stuff like that, because I love getting to chat with you guys about comic books and superheroes, and I love that sort of stuff. I absolutely love it. I'm not just saying it because, you know, it's the YouTube thing to do, you know. Oh, I love talking to you guys, blah, blah, blah. No, I genuinely do. I do love doing it, else I wouldn't do this. And that's why, as you've seen, the Captain's Quarters, is I've picked up the frequency of it recently. Whereas it was like months and months in lieu. Now it's gone almost back to weekly again. So no. So when you say that, it's like, I'm glad that you enjoy watching the videos and writing these questions and stuff, because I love talking back as well. So don't worry, you're not alone in that respect. I can understand how it might be a bit worse for where you live, but trust me, you're not alone in that. Even though I'm doing this, I have nobody to talk to about this sort of stuff other than you guys. Or at least nobody who's interested and into it, as you guys are. But where was I? I got lost around. Oh yeah, when you say about the Marvel digital website being way behind, I get that. I didn't know where to start either. But the best thing I can say is you just jump in. there will be points where you read something and you're like, who's that? What's going on? But after reading a certain amount of comics, and in such big masses like I do, I don't wait a month in between them. I read them all like a couple a night. They do tend to re-explain stuff, but not in a sense that they're re-explaining it. So like, say, I don't know, in like 2010, Spider-Man opened a portal to another dimension, or something like that. I'm just making this up. Like that. And then in 2012, a comic came out, and they were talking about that event. They wouldn't just say, do you remember when you did that thing? They would say, do you remember when you did that thing? And then somebody else will say, oh, what, do you mean when you opened up the portal and defeated so-and-so? They make it seem like the character's asking the question, when really what they're doing is they're explaining to new readers what's happened in the past. So I understand when you say that you can't find a point to just jump in, but unfortunately that's the only way you can do it. You just jump in at a point, you find a character you want to read. The way it's laid out is they've got series. So like New Avengers, they've got 2004 to 2010. Then they've got 2010 to 2012. And like Spider-Man, you've got 1999 to 2013. And so you can jump in at the start of one of those points. And yeah, there'll be stuff you've missed. But they always, if they're talking about something that's happened in the past, they always explain it in some way, so you're not missing out too much. And in the end of the day, if they do say something and you don't get it, just Google it. No, somebody will explain it. The Marvel Wiki will explain it for you. So, the best thing I can say is just jump in. Just find a character you want to read about, and just jump in at some random issue and just start going. It's the only way you really can get into it. But trust me, I had the same issue when I first started reading comics. Just jump in. You pick it up as it goes along. They don't make it too. Some things can get complicated, but in most part they explain it through the dialogue. So, but yeah, I think that was pretty much everything I wanted to reply to. But no, as you said quite a few nice things in there. So thank you very much. It does mean a lot when you guys say these things. Yusuf Yasir said, "Hi Dave, how you doing? I am just Andy. I am currently not feeling well. I have the worst cold and missed my entire weekend because of it. Oh, that sucks, mate. Hate to hear that. Hope you feel better soon." Anyways, a friend of mine let me borrow a Civil War comic of him, and I've read it and enjoyed it, and I went with my brother to buy a game for him, and what do you know, the game he picked up was Ultimate Alliance 2. So now my question is based on the Civil War. What if Cap 3 is about Iron Man gets arrested for creating Ultron when the government issues a new law that superheroes should be arrested, causing a civil war between superheroes led by Cap and the government with S.H.I.E.L.D. We see, that's actually quite a relevant thing to bring up, because new information is obviously coming out about stuff like this. I think in America you're about 4 or 5 weeks ahead of us with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. comes back this Friday for us in England. For anyone who hasn't got their their Sky Plus ready to record it, Channel 4, Friday, 8 o'clock. That's when Marvel's S.H.I.E.L.D. comes back for all you England people out there. Yeah, but I've heard when I've watched American podcasts and stuff like that, I've heard them say something about S.H.I.E.L.D. and the real S.H.I.E.L.D. or something like that. So basically I think there's going to be a lot of stuff within the next year that comes out with regards to films and TV programs, which might set the scene for what's going to happen. There's a lot of unknown factors that we don't know about that haven't been revealed. But from what I've heard, it's not going to be necessarily Civil War like the comics, where it was superhero versus superhero. It might be to a certain extent, but from what I've heard is it's more going to be like superhero versus government. So, because there's been quite a few things the last couple of weeks saying that Iron Man isn't going to be the bad guy, and a lot of people are like, well, what does that mean? What's this about? So maybe it is actually going to be more like all superheroes going underground, fighting the government instead. I don't know, this is just me guessing and assuming. So, as you say, when you say about like maybe Iron Man getting arrested for creating Ultron, and then superheroes go underground because of the Civil War, yeah, that could be true. It could be true, and then that way, that would explain why, obviously it's been Captain America 3, and one of the biggest fears a lot of people are saying is like with the amount of superheroes that have been confirmed to be in Civil War. I mean, they're looking at right now, you've got Hawkeye, you've got Black Panther, Spider-Man, possibly Doctor Strange, Iron Man, and a whole bunch of others that I'm forgetting right now, possibly Luke Cage and Daredevil, they may also be in there. So there's a lot of people I'm probably forgetting as well. But with so many superheroes being in Captain America's film, a lot of people are thinking, is Captain America going to get overshadowed? It's going to look more like an Avengers film than a Captain America film. So that's the only way I could think that maybe Cap will come out on top looking like the main character of the film, is if it is superheroes versus government led by Captain America. And they all have to go underground because of it. So instead of having it against Captain America against Tony Stark and all the superheroes below, it could just be Captain America and all the superheroes versus the government. So in that way, there's no bad guy with the superheroes, and he still gets the spotlight in the film. So, but that's just my theory. So as you say, yeah, it's a good point you bring up. Yusuf Yasir said, me and my cat have a love-hate relationship as well, but my cat love and cat loves you and you hate it, and then he got died by getting run over. Oh no, that's not good at all. I mean, my cat bugs me, but I hope it doesn't get run over. I'm sorry to hear that. You're not having a great time. You've got a cold and the cat's got run over. Oh man, that's not good. I feel sorry for you. John Hawke said, March 15th, 2015. Congratulations, Captain, on over 30,000 subscribers. And might I say, I'm glad to be part of your crew. If you'll have me, keep up the spectacular job on the videos. Oh, thank you very much. Another milestone reached, 30,000 subscribers. Yeah, I should have really made a video about that, I guess, really. But yeah, thank you very much for the congratulations, and thank you all guys, all 30,000 of you, for actually subscribing to me and watching my videos over the last 5 years. So yeah, thank you very much for all you guys to actually watching my videos. I mean, I'd still make all these videos if you guys weren't here, but having all you guys watching my videos does make it a lot more enjoyable. Liam Walker said, I would like a video series you talking about comic books. Seems like a lot of you guys actually like me to do this. I might have to look into it. Bib Backland said, you should do a walkthrough of Batman Begins. It's a good stealth game. Did you? I didn't even know there was a Batman Begins game. I might have to look into that as well. The Captain of Fire. Oh, here we go. This is going to be my second round of getting ganged up on, isn't it? So you said you like the idea of me making video games discussing comics and stuff. Okay, it seems like it's quite a popular idea. Question time. 1. How much longer till the Walking Dead game returns? Very soon. Very soon. Can't wait to get that one started. 2. Would you do a series where you play GTA 5 with your friends, where you all just screw around? Well, as I was saying earlier, when I answered Mission Unstoppable's question, none of the people I know in real life enjoy this sort of stuff. They all just sort of like enjoy football and stuff like that. So I'm the only person who I see regularly that enjoys like video games and comics and stuff like that. So yeah. So I might I remember someone brought up that said about doing the GTA Survival Challenge thing, but with GTA 5. So I mean, that's a possibility. I could do something like that. Wouldn't be able to have the awesome intro due to the NWA copyright, but but no, the idea is something like that, like playing with friends and just messing around. Like for anyone who's watched any Rooster Teeth, I personally haven't watched anything of Rooster Teeth other than the things to do in GTA series, because I just happened to come across it in a recommended video once. But that's hilarious. I'd love to do something like that, but I just don't have people in my real life who are into that sort of stuff as well, or at least they might like it, but then they're not into making videos. Like they won't mind playing the game, but that's about it. So, but who knows? I'm only 26. I've got a long time for that sort of thing to happen. Question 3: do you like the idea of playing games with your subscribers when you start streaming? Possibly. Back when I was very, very, very new, and I was playing Call of Duty, I think when I hit like 100 subscribers or something like that, I did a subscriber lobby thing. I didn't know quite how to do it, so I basically I just let anyone accept my friend request, or I accepted their friend request, and then at a certain time I went online and they all just joined in with me, and we played like a couple of games of something. I don't know. I know it was Black Ops, but that was about it. So I've done it once before, but I don't know, maybe in the future. It depends really what game it is. I don't know. But as I say, when I start streaming, it's probably just going to be like this Q&A thing. I don't know about actually streaming any gameplay yet. I suppose that would be something for Twitch, probably. But yeah, possibly in the future. I don't know. It depends what game it is. It depends how well I actually manage to get it all set up. There's a lot of variables, but yeah, probably one day. I don't see why not. I'd love to actually play a game with you guys, other than actually talking back and forth with you like this. It'd be nice to actually get some gameplay. I could actually almost put the subscriber gameplay in the background to the captain's quarters as well. So, extra little note: the captain's crew is my thing. I don't get it. Or was it your idea, the captain's crew? I think. Final thing, planning for the future, so I'll be waiting for the opportunity to strike, but you don't know when it would work. See, I knew it! I knew you two were ganging up on me. I knew it. Captain Carter said, I'm new, so hello. Plus, I think you should to be continued. Oh, I see what you've done there. A lot of you have mentioned about how you hate how I leave my videos on cliffhangers. I'm guessing Captain Carter's just fair play. You got me back for that one. Jared Hughes said, share all over those social media with all the worlds. Oh, did you mean like you just? I don't get it. I think you mean like if you just meant like you've shared this video, then thank you very much. Apex Nation said, what if I said dolphins eat? That's a question statement for the century. I'm getting really confused. What is going on with these questions? What if dolphins eat? I assume they eat at some point. I don't know, you'd have to ask a marine biologist for that one, I guess. Dr. Bat10 said, hey Cap, what's your opinion on Superman Returns, the game, and Legend of Zelda and Portal? I had to do 3 games because everything comes in 3s. Everything does come in 3s, Dr. Bat. See, there we go! Back to a question that makes sense. So, what's my opinion on Superman Returns? I haven't played it, haven't seen any gameplay of it, so I can't really comment on it. Legend of Zelda is a classic, but I think I had like a handheld device once that was like literally it was just a Legend of Zelda console, like a little portable handheld game of Zelda. But again, haven't actually really played Zelda properly, other than that little handheld thing. And Portal was a fun game. Portal was a very fun game. Portal 2 I actually owned on console. And I think I mentioned it like a long time ago, but I actually recorded an entire walkthrough for Portal 2. But it was awful. Back when I was very new to the whole recording walkthrough scene. And because I hadn't played the game, there would be moments with like 15-20 minutes of silence while I'm trying to figure out the puzzle, and then whenever I did commentate, it was awful, and it distracted me from the game, and oh man, it was just awful. But Portal 2, the game, fantastic. Same with Portal 1. Both very fun games, and if you haven't played Portal or Portal 2, I'd definitely suggest doing it, because they are very, very fun games. And my throat is dying. Robbie Carson said, hey Dave, what's your second favourite superhero? Second favourite? I don't know, it'd probably be one of the X-Men, probably. It'd probably be something like Iceman. Oh, I liked Cyclops for the longest time. Although he has gone a bit jerkish recently. But I liked Cyclops for the longest time, I really did. But with regards to favourite, other than Spider-Man, probably someone like Iceman. I think he's just really underrated, to be honest with you. Someone like Iceman I like. As I said, I used to like Cyclops quite a bit. The Thing and Johnny Storm, quite good. Probably more so The Thing, actually. I do enjoy a good bit of The Thing. So yeah, someone like that. I used to quite like Cyclops, but Iceman, The Thing, someone like that. I like that. Past Spider-Man, I wouldn't say I necessarily have a favourite. I think just after Spider-Man, I have favourites, I think. Lucas I'm getting tired, sorry. Lucas said, Dave, did you hear about Spider-Man joining the Marvel movie universe? Yes! And as I said, if you go back and watch my past Captain's Quarters, I mentioned quite a lot about that. Crimson Amora said, hi Dave, just curious if you would ever consider playing any of Bioshock games. Sorry for asking so late. No, you didn't ask late at all, don't worry about it. Probably not. I've watched quite a bit of gameplay. I think I started watching, or at least I watched like over half of a walkthrough, I think, of Bioshock 2, I think. They look like decent games. It's just, I don't know, I'm just not particularly interested in them, to be honest with you. Nothing wrong with the game itself. They look really fun, but I'm just not particularly interested. So probably not. No, sorry. VladX94 said, "Do you have any favourite anime? If yes, what are their names?" I'm not really into anime, to be honest with you, so I couldn't really pick out any favourites. Hell, I probably couldn't even really name any other than like the really extremely popular ones. So I do not have a favourite. No, sorry. Also, can't you get Agent Carter episodes through torrent? Probably yes, but I'm a bit of an old man. I'm kind of like, I'm an old man stuck in my ways. I probably could torrent it, but I just know my luck. You guys know my luck by now. The odds are I'll torrent it, and it'll be the one time I've ever torrented something, and then the police will kick down my door at like 3 AM for the one thing I've ever downloaded. So I probably could, but I'm sure there's other ways I can end up watching it at some point. There's some website will stream it at some point, or I can just get my friend to download it for me. I have the Dave luck, he doesn't. Also, what are my thoughts on Jason Voorhees and Predator being playable in Mortal Kombat X? Are they? No. Well, as I said, as I said to whoever it was who asked the question earlier, I have no knowledge of Mortal Kombat at all. But Jason Voorhees and Predator are now being playable. I'm guessing that's kind of like a win-win situation. I mean, Jason Voorhees and Predator, they're like two film franchises that they're done and dusted now, really. And Mortal Kombat's been going a long time, so by introducing them to Mortal Kombat, they're kind of revamping each other's franchise in a sense. Like Mortal Kombat's like, we've got Jason Voorhees. Jason Voorhees is, I'm in Mortal Kombat. It's kind of like the both of them just shaking hands, smiling at the camera. Hey, look at us. But yeah, no, I don't really know much about Mortal Kombat, but I guess that would be fun. Predator, I'm guessing, would kick some serious ass. May Bob Anovic said, "Great idea to get a webcam. I'd love to see that." Yes, I'm working on that at the moment, actually. Just saving up to get a decent one. I don't want to say, oh yeah, cool, I'm going to webcam, I'm going to live stream, and then I get some shoddy pixelated thing. So I want to make sure I get a decent HD one. Mission Unstoppable 1 said, "I guess it's my turn to spam the comments now. What do you think about Doctor Strange and Black Panther movies Marvel's announced?" Yes, I think that's really good. I think it's about time Marvel flush out the characters they have, especially with obviously Civil War coming up. They need to introduce quite a few characters, and they need to do it quite quickly. But Doctor Strange, Black Panther, yes, I think that's very cool. I think it's good they're going to get introduced. I like the casting they've done for Doctor Strange in Benedict Cumberbatch. I think that's pretty cool. And also Black Panther looks like he's going to do a really great job as well. But I like something they've done. I don't know if they've actually officially announced this yet, but I like what they've been doing recently. That they're saying with, who was it? With, I think it's Ant-Man, or it might be someone after Ant-Man. I'm not sure. But with one of their movies, it's going to be the last time they do an origin story. After that, everyone else is getting introduced into a film. So say like Black Panther's going to be first introduced during Civil War. Doctor Strange, I don't know when he's first getting introduced. Maybe that will also be during Civil War. And then after that, they get their own movie. I like that. I think it's great. Because I always think in the superhero franchise, the first movie is always a dud. Because you spend half the film waiting for them to get their powers. Then you spend another quarter of the film, oh look, I'm learning how to use my powers. And then it's only like the last quarter of the film they're actually being the character you've come to watch. So I like the fact that they're just doing away with origin stories. Like the first time you see Black Panther is going to be in Civil War. Then after that, he has a movie where he's already Black Panther, and they might flash back to how he became Black Panther, and that's it. Or they might eventually do Black Panther Origins when the franchise burns out or something like that. But no, I'm very happy to see Doctor Strange and Black Panther in Marvel movies, and I'm even more ecstatic about the fact they're doing away with origin stories as well. Tom Ho said, "Hi Dave, who do you understand?" Oh, I meant to say underrated. Right, so hi Dave, who do you think is underrated and underused superhero? Yeah, Iceman. Like I mentioned earlier, Iceman is insanely underrated. Like, for anyone who's actually read X-Men, like not only is he one of the original X-Men, along with Cyclops, Beast, Angel, and then Jean Grey, but his power set is really, really underrated. Like, he can turn any water molecule into ice. Now, that's not just saying, oh, look, there's a puddle, I turn it into ice. That is, water molecules are in air. They're in the human body. They're everywhere. If he wanted to, and his power was enhanced or increased, he could kill everyone if he wanted to. Like, any enemy, he could literally just click his finger and just like make an icicle appear in their heart, and they're dead. Just like freeze their blood supply. If he was a super villain, he could potentially be like a apocalyptic super villain if he wanted to be. And obviously, his power set would have to be increased a bit. I mean, like, quite a few issues where Iceman has come back from the future, or in actually some more of the more recent versions of Iceman, he can actually create like tiny little ice men and control them all. So he can make like 10 different versions of himself. So if he's in a fight, you're like, which one's the real Iceman? Because he's just duped himself several times out of ice. But there's one of them where he did it so well that the other Iceman that he created actually became sentient and had its own knowledge and its own thought process. So it's like Iceman is insanely underrated and insanely underused. I think one of the best things they ever did with him was in the the Ultimate Universe, where the X-Men had been literally decimated. They were gone. There was nobody left. Like, it was insane. Like, the writers of the Ultimate Universe must have just been like, nah, I'm done with these guys. They literally killed them all. It was insane. But Iceman and Johnny Storm joined Spider-Man, and the three of them used to like boss around together, cracking jokes. It was awesome. It was like, I wish they do that in the current current series of Spider-Man. I would love that if Spider-Man, the Human Torch, and Iceman just rocked it around together. That'd be fantastic. It worked so well in the Ultimate Universe. I mean, admittedly, they were all a lot younger, but it was awesome. It was fantastic, and Iceman is insanely underrated. You got Beast, who goes on to become an Avenger and a secret Avenger and all this other stuff. Cyclops, leader of the X-Men, leader of an entire race of mutants, goes on to like grab the Phoenix Force as well, and then becomes like this revolutionist dick, to be honest. But he has like big things happen to him. Warring Angel, I'm just getting tongue-tied here, becomes like a horseman of apocalypse, although I think Iceman might have at some point as well. But he becomes like a member of like Apocalypse's horseman, and then kind of gets screwed over. They kind of like reboot Angel eventually, and like Jean Grey becomes the Phoenix. All these big things happen for them, and Iceman is still just, I'm a member of the X-Men, I teach at the school. It's just like, come on, I don't get why they just haven't done something with Iceman. I think they say like they haven't done anything big with Iceman because nobody's that interested in Iceman. But it's like, people won't be interested in him unless you make them interested in him. If you don't give him any great storylines, nobody's gonna care about him. It's like, that's how you can tell I'm obviously passionate about this. I didn't realise I was this passionate about it, but yeah, underrated and underused superhero, Iceman, all over. That guy is insanely powerful, and they just don't use him. Mission Unstoppable 1 said, yes, it is definitely my turn to spam the comments. Anyway, Dave, you have to play Lego Batman 3 game. If you had to skip the first two, you have to play the third because it's very interesting, obscure and unique characters you can play as, including a Batcow. Oh man. Yes, you can ride on the Batcow, which is a cow Batman and Robin saved from the slaughterhouse and named it Batcow. If that doesn't give you some incentive to play it, there are many more characters like that in the game. Yeah, I've heard of Batcow actually just very recently. In fact, I think that might have been at Comics Explained. I heard about Batcow at their podcast. But isn't it like, as you said, like Robin saves it and it's like, no, we're keeping this cow, it will be Batcow. It's just, it sounds ludicrous, but it sounds hilarious. No, I've been looking at getting all 3 Lego Batman games, and I've been looking into playing them and possibly making that new series. But just like with the webcam, takes money, and but luckily money is a thing that I'm starting to save up on, and I'm starting to come by now. So hopefully, yeah, that's one of the things that is on the to-do list, along with The Walking Dead, along with possibly Wolf Among Us. I haven't played it yet, but I've heard it's very good. So there's many things that are on my to-do list, and all of the Lego Batman games are definitely there. Also, along with the Lego Avengers when it comes out, and Lego Jurassic Park. The game looks fantastic. And another question from Mission Unstoppable 1. Man, am I getting tongue-tied. I know you don't watch many YouTubers, but you should check out the Game Theory Show on YouTube by Matt Pat in your free time. He takes real-life science and applies it to video games, and surprisingly enough, he shows how many things in video games are true in real life, although he does sometimes take a tad far. His videos are a very sweet combination of video game science and bad puns. He usually uploads one game video theory in 2 or 3 weeks. Oh, fair enough. Well, if that sounds appealing to any of you guys, go check it out. But yeah, I don't watch many. You're right, I don't actually watch many YouTubers. But as I've just mentioned, like recently, Comics Explained is something I do watch. That's very fun. That's very interesting. And I think there's a few other things I watch. Some sort of stuff like How It Should Have Ended, and what else am I forgetting? Maybe something like Screen Junkies. I watch the Honest Trailers and stuff like that. But stuff like that. Anything sort of superhero and comic book related, I normally end up watching. Monty Pig said, how about making your comic related video series The Captain's Comics or something like that? True, I could. As much as I love the idea of The Captain's Comics, I think I might have to call it something else just because I've got The Captain's Quarters and I've just started my Captain's Classic series, which, by the way, for any of you who watched the last Captain's Classics, Brace for Impact with Steve Cortez, a lot of people didn't understand that. And basically what I was getting at was Cortez's face was hilarious, and I felt this should be shared. But trust me, the rest of the videos, they're not like that. Every Wednesday there's going to be a Captain's Classics video, and the rest of them won't be like that. You'll just have to wait and see what they're going to be like. But that was a one-off. Anyway, Monty Pig said, oh, holy lord, this is a long question. Fair. You guys and your long questions today, my lord. Right. Monty Pig said, hello Captain, I am sorry that this comment is so stinking long. Yeah, you're right about that. It's just that there are so many good questions screaming at everyone and nobody is asking them, hint hint. Right, number 1, does the name Pac-Man ring any bells? Yes, it does. Everyone knows Pac-Man. Would you play a new Pac-Man game if they released it? Probably not. I mean, I liked Pac-Man. You know, everyone likes Pac-Man. Pac-Man's fun, but it's not. If they like redid it, like even if it was just a remake of the same game, or if they made it 3D or anything like that, it's not something I would really be interested in. They'd have to do something really weird and new to it to make me interested in it. But if not, skip to question 5, or if you don't know who Pac-Man is, go to number 3. Oh man, oh I like this. This is like one of those books where it's like, do you enter the cave or do you walk away? Turn to page 30. Yeah, if anyone wants to know, oh yeah, man. Monty Pig's gone into a whole in-depth thing on the story behind Pac-Man. If you guys want to read it, go to my previous Captain's Quarters, and it's quite near the top. It was one of the newer comments, but as I say, I know who Pac-Man is, so I'll skip to question 5. I am just wondering if you could pick any 3 Lego games to make a walkthrough of, what would they be? When answering, group all the games in the same series together. So if you answer has multiple Batman games in it, just say the Lego Batman series. Okay, so instead of saying Batman 1, 2 and 3, I'll just say Batman games. Oh man, this is very neatly laid out. You've put some effort into this. I like this. Alright, so what are my 3 favourite Lego games I would like to do a walkthrough of? Yeah, the Lego Batman games, that would be 1. Marvel superheroes, as I say, I've already done 1. And when I say Marvel superheroes, I'm going to say all Marvel Lego games. So that includes the Avengers game that's coming out as well. So, yeah. So, Marvel ones, the Batman ones, and probably the Jurassic World one that's coming out. So, yeah, there'd be the 3. Jurassic World, the Marvel ones, and Batman. Last question, I hope. That's not me saying that, that's what Monty Pig wrote. I have been needing someone to play critic with my stories as a writer, and that got me thinking. You know how you love comics, well so do I, and since I'm a writer and cartoonist and you know a lot of comic stuff, maybe I could post in the comment section my story ideas and you could play critic. Tell me what you like, don't like, want to change. You get story time and I get my stories done. How do you like that idea? Sorry again for the long comment. Yeah, you could do something like that if you wanted to. Honestly, I don't really feel like I'm the best person to be critiquing somebody else's stories. Because you say you're a writer, I'm very much not. I like comics, I like reading them. As we've found evident throughout this thing, I haven't got that much of a creative mind when it comes to how stuff should and shouldn't be. I'm good at sort of changing stuff and building it into something else, but I don't know. As I say, like if you want to, you can put it on there. I mean, obviously, I couldn't read out an entire story idea like as part of the captain's quarters because that would take up a hell of a lot of time, and my reading skills aren't exactly top notch. But if you wanted to post them, I could always give them a read and like say what I liked and what I didn't like. But hey, it's entirely up to you. If you want to, you could post a few ideas you've had for your stories. Or obviously, you would run the risk of other people seeing it and maybe thiefing it for their own, so you do run that risk. But yeah, if you want to post some ideas, I can give you some feedback for them, but I wouldn't take anything I say too much to heart because I don't have any particular skills in writing or storytelling or anything like that myself. So but yeah, if you want to, I wouldn't mind. Thomas Jackson said, so I tried Mass Effect and, drumroll please, I loved it. I can't believe I did not like it the first time. I'm going to watch your walkthrough after I finish. Oh, well there you go. I'm glad you like it. Anytime someone says they like, they've got into Mass Effect because of me, that makes me a happy man. Thomas Jackson said, by the way, play Assassin's Creed, Fallout, Dragon Age, Infamous, and one for all the boys and girls, Spider-Man Web of Shadows. Watch Star Wars, all of them, and read Nick Fury, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. There we go. Right at the end of the captain's quarters. We couldn't go without one more person trolling me about that. I think I might have to get a t-shirt or a poster made up with just all those game names on it and then me pulling my hair out underneath. Last and not least, Lucas said, and do you hate the Mass Effect 3 ending? Oh, leaving on a big one. Well, the Mass Effect ending, that is something that is greatly been discussed ever since Mass Effect 3 ended. And I personally, probably because I heard everyone saying about how much they hated it, and my first time playing Mass Effect was with the DLC cut, I didn't mind it. I thought it was okay. Was there things that could have been made a lot better and done a lot better? Hell yes. There was a hell of a lot of things they probably could have done better, but there was also a hell of a lot of things they could have done a lot worse as well. So in the grand scheme of things, I was happy with it. I didn't mind. They had to, at some point, wrap it all up into a neat little bundle. Yes, could they have made 10 alternate endings? Yes, they could have. Could they have made it really in-depth? Yes, they could have. But there's a few things. One, they are on a serious time deadline, and I don't think that's BioWare's fault. I think that's solely landing on the blame of EA. So there's that one thing. A time restriction, which I don't think they have now. A second thing is I feel they kind of had to wrap things up, being a trilogy as well, and also maybe at that point they didn't know where they were going to go from. Maybe they were unaware if their next game was going to be set before or after Mass Effect 3, like with the next Mass Effect. Even though it's not part of the trilogy, at that point they probably didn't know what they were going to do next. So they probably didn't want to have this game having 1,000 different endings, and then them sitting there thinking, okay, well the next game is going to be set after the Mass Effect trilogy. Damn, how are we going to do this? So I think they wanted to wrap things up a little bit. They wanted to try and put it into a neat little bow. So it is a question that is a big debate. There's a lot of different ways you can look at it, a lot of different thoughts and theories. But to sum it up quite neatly, I would say, could they have done it better? Could they have done it more in depth? Yes. I think with more time and a lot more effort, yes, they could have done it a lot better. But at the same time, I think it could have been a lot worse. So, and I think in the grand scheme of things, it's like with a lot of things in Mass Effect, it's your interpretation of it. A lot of people look at it and they go, this is stupid, where a lot of other people go, no, you got this, you got that, it's actually quite well done. I think it's just, half of it's how much people understood of it, and I think a lot of it's also a lot of people's interpretation. A lot of stuff I think, was it called canon, when you make it up, like in your own head, your own version of it? So, I think that's really the best explanation, best explanation I'll be able to give without making an entire video just based on the Mass Effect ending, which if I spoke about it in depth could easily add another hour onto the end of this thing. So yeah, I think that's the best thing I can say. I personally didn't mind it. I liked it. I thought it was okay. Could it have been better? Yes. Could it have been worse? Hell yes. So I think I'll leave it at that. And with that being said, done and dusted, that is the end of the Captain's Quarters. That is all the questions done, answered, and over with. It seems like from you guys, you got from the answers I've been receiving from you guys, you would quite like for me to go through, maybe start a series in which I talk about comic books, maybe explain what happened in that particular series, in that particular issue, maybe talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, something like that. And hey, if you guys like it, it might be something I continue. So I think that's definitely something I'm going to look into doing. If I'm going to do it, I want to do it right. So I'm going to definitely put a lot of research into it. So it'll probably be quite a while, but if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. So I'm going to put quite a bit of time and effort into it. But yeah, so as I say, with that being said, that is the end of the Captain's Quarters. Any questions or comments you want to leave for me for the next Captain's Quarters, put them down in the comment section below, and I'll get through reading them next time. But as for now, my name's Captain Dave. This has been the Captain's Quarters, and I'll catch you guys later.